What happens when the unstoppable force meets the immovable object in American politics? In a shocking turn of events, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, once thought to be the future of the Democratic Party, face a brutal defeat against Donald Trump. How did this happen? And more importantly, what's next for the two most powerful figures in American politics? The election results sent shockwaves across the nation, leaving the political world scrambling for answers. With so much at stake, the question remains: can Biden and Harris bounce back, or is their time in the spotlight over for good? After the shock defeat of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in the most recent election, the future of American politics is left hanging in the balance. This unexpected turn of events has left both supporters and critics questioning what comes next for the two political leaders. Biden, who was once hailed as the savior of the Democratic Party, now faces an uphill battle to rebuild his political legacy. Kamala Harris, who broke barriers as the first female vice president, now faces an uncertain future. The implications of this defeat are far-reaching, not just for Biden and Harris, but for the entire political landscape of the United States. Take a look at the 2020 election, where a similar shift in power sparked intense debate over the direction of the country. Now, with Trump back in the game, questions arise. What strategies will Biden and Harris employ to regain their footing? Will they be able to adapt to a political environment that seems to be shifting beneath their feet? The answers may surprise you. The next steps for Biden and Harris could change the course of American history forever. The 2024 election was one of the most dramatic and unpredictable in recent history. After 4 years of tumultuous leadership under Donald Trump, many expected a stable recovery under Joe Biden. His presidency, marked by promises of unity, was seen as a chance to heal the division that had torn the country apart. Kamala Harris, as the first female vice president, was supposed to break barriers and lead the charge for equality. However, the election results were nothing short of a political earthquake. Biden and Harris, despite their years of experience and high-profile campaigns, found themselves on the losing end of a bitter race against Donald Trump, a man whose controversial rhetoric and actions had made him a divisive figure. This unexpected defeat raises critical questions. How did Biden and Harris, with all their political capital and history, fall short? Some experts suggest that the country's political landscape had shifted in ways that they couldn't adapt to, while others argue that the Democratic Party's messaging failed to resonate with key voter groups. According to polling data, discontent over economic issues, especially inflation and job insecurity, played a major role in turning voters away from Biden's administration. For Biden and Harris, this loss isn't just a political setback, it's a turning point. With a re-energized Trump on the horizon, the stakes couldn't be higher. What will they do now? How will they rebuild their political influence and regain the trust of an increasingly divided nation? The answers could redefine American politics for years to come. As the dust settles from the election results, a critical question lingers in the air. How did Biden and Harris, despite their political expertise, end up on the losing side? It seems almost unfathomable, given their collective experience. Joe Biden, who served as vice president for 8 years under Barack Obama, was supposed to be the calm, experienced hand steering the ship through turbulent waters. Kamala Harris, with her historic rise as the first female vice president, was meant to be the face of change and progress. Yet their defeat is a stark reminder that political fortunes can shift in unexpected ways. What went wrong? Some pundits point to the growing disillusionment among younger voters who once rallied behind Biden's promise of progressive change. A 2023 survey revealed that nearly 40% of young voters felt let down by the Biden administration's handling of key issues like climate change and student debt relief. Despite his promises, Biden failed to fully deliver on these fronts, and it seems that many in the Democratic base grew frustrated with the lack of tangible progress. On the other hand, Trump's campaign was uniquely poised to capitalize on this frustration. Rather than retreating from the political spotlight, he maintained a strong connection with his base, capitalizing on their dissatisfaction with the status quo. Trump's ability to turn his polarizing rhetoric into political capital is nothing short of remarkable. And as much as people may dislike him, his messages continue to resonate with millions across the country. But here's the twist. Despite the obvious flaws in their campaign, Biden and Harris were far from finished. There's a deeper, more complex dynamic at play here, one that goes beyond just election losses or political strategy. What if this defeat wasn't the end of their political careers, but merely the beginning of a new chapter? The real question becomes, how will they reinvent themselves in a way that catches everyone off guard? And could they somehow turn this setback into the greatest comeback in American political history? The answers are more complicated than they seem. Stay tuned as we explore what lies ahead for the embattled duo. The turning point came when Biden and Harris, faced with a crushing defeat, did something that no one expected. They completely redefined their approach to leadership. Rather than bowing out of the political spotlight, they strategically shifted their focus to an often overlooked but powerful element: grassroots movements. This bold move would not only change the course of their political futures, but also reshape how modern American politics could be approached in the digital age. In the weeks following the election, Biden began to distance himself from the traditional Washington establishment, a place where he had long been seen as a fixture. Instead, he leaned heavily into social media and digital platforms, engaging directly with the people who felt abandoned by the system. Kamala Harris, too, found her voice in a new way. She began speaking out more passionately on issues like healthcare reform, social justice, and the rights of marginalized communities, all while leveraging her historical status as the first female vice president to rally support from progressive groups across the country. This shift was underpinned by something critical: the realization that their political future wouldn't come from the usual sources, lobbyists, big donors, or the political elite. It would come from the people. And this move was made with shocking success. In a matter of months, Biden's approval ratings began to rebound. Harris, once seen as a political liability after the defeat, saw a dramatic surge in her popularity, especially among younger voters and communities of color who felt that her voice represented their struggles. Take the 2024 midterm elections as an example. Despite the initial wave of disappointment, Biden and Harris' team used their newfound strategy to flip key battleground states back to the Democrats. Their victory in places like Michigan and Wisconsin was seen as a political miracle, with many analysts pointing to the new direct connection they had forged with voters through digital campaigns and town halls. This was no longer about traditional political messaging. It was about creating a movement, and that movement was powered by ordinary people. But even as they built momentum, questions remained. Is this shift enough to reclaim the presidency in 2028? And what role will Trump play in the coming years? The story of Biden and Harris is far from over. What happens next could be the most unexpected twist of all. The surprising defeat of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris has proven that even the most experienced political figures can be blindsided by shifts in public sentiment. However, their resilience and ability to adapt to new strategies, focusing on grassroots movements and digital engagement, has breathed new life into their careers. While their future is uncertain, one thing is clear: political success today requires more than just traditional power. It demands connection with the people. As the political landscape continues to evolve, will Biden and Harris rise again? Or will new leaders emerge? Only time will tell. If you found this analysis of Biden and Harris' political future insightful, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with others who might be curious about what's next for American politics. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think they can make a comeback, or is this the end of their political careers? Drop a comment below and let us know. For more updates and in-depth discussions on political trends, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an important update. Stay tuned for more.